Hello everyone, my name is Njol, #Sasson. The graphics look like a VGA card screwed a clone and spewed out pixelated colors and viscera. The music has a lower bitrate than a dying Nintendo being run over by an ox. The sound effects that are not muffled ranges from ear bleeding noise to oddly fitting, interlaced with disturbing as all hell. Despite this audiovisual onslaught, I have been playing this game for way too long. Yes, Cruelty Squad is a very immersive game where I have to navigate elaborate levels in order to commit petty murder and on some pointless people for pennies. The money does come in handy when getting upgrades such as the grappling intestine. The game takes place in a dystopian cyberpunk future where life is cheap and death is merely a flesh wound. The main protagonist is a pathetic deadbeat assassin, part-time corpse consumer, and surprisingly apt at breaking into places. Like I mentioned earlier, each level has a myriad of ways to reach a target. Take the first level for example. I can run in the main door and shoot lots of people. I can climb up a ladder and jump across the roof gap, then break a window and kill unalerted guards. The opposite direction takes me to an air duct which leads to a secluded toilet with a guard. I can also pick up said toilet and throw it into a room and watch everyone get turned into meaty chunks. I can then pilfer the dead bodies for their body parts, such as a spine fetches a nice price at the volatile stock market. The most odd inclusion in the game is mostly due to how unexpected it is. Essentially, buy low and sell high, murder a CEO and become rich enough to buy a house. Selling organs, fish and completing missions is how money is made after all. All hard cash is needed to get most of the upgrades in Cruelty Squad. Unfortunately, I can only carry 2 things at any given time, which means the fishing rod takes up 1 slot and a gun another. Another annoying aspect of the game is the alternate weapons can only be unlocked by picking them up and exiting a level. The exit itself is very easy to see since it says what it is with bright, big red letters. By now you probably noticed that everything looks a bit off and unsettling. Trust me, it's a deliberate design choice made by developers. Cruelty Squad would indeed fit in with various early PlayStation titles that made the 3D jump too early. Garish textures is only made worse with certain items equipped, such as the cursed goggles that make everything red, black and make my eyeball bleed. So I cannot say I've done all there is to do in the game. And that the color scheme is not something everyone can stomach. Despite less than impressive presentation, there is a very fun and immersive first-person shooter under the surface. I can run around like a loon and gun everyone down. I can sneak around like an unseen ghost, punting people in the walls and popping heads like Sith. As long as I can complete the mission, I'm not picky about my approach. However, I have the durability of wet tissue paper, so a firefight is ill-advised, as almost every human can die from a headshot, including the player. In other words, expect to die a lot, until a sensible series of events lead to a solution. This includes the start of the game itself, and the exit is often close to the entrance. Despite the AI being as effective as a jet engine powered brick, they turn like a truck, but almost every gun seems to be hit scan and hit you they will. The exceptions are the ones with melee attacks, such as the tiny toxic terror that flops about in confined spaces. Those enemies can just jump into a blender. Cruelty Squad is a cruel and brutal experience where blood and body parts are flying whenever someone dies, and with the right upgrades and the parts can be thrown into foes, turning them into giblets. One thing to note is the fact that there's a lot of secrets that I can randomly stumble upon, such as more levels and upgrades. For example, a flashlight is needed to traverse a dark cellar. It can be found in a secluded spot in one specific level. Then I can light the way through the dark and find a picture on a wall to jump through, and suddenly I'm at a new level. But of course, if your divinity is lost, you cannot go through the door. Your divine protection is something you gain through specific stuff, and lose when dying. So, once you get past the art style, it's a fun and engaging experience, but unfortunately no Steam achievements as of yet. I'm host Astron, Njol signing out.